Welcome back to the Climb the Pocket YouTube page. As always, my name is Steve Catalano. I'm here with Ryan McGinley. You can find him on Twitter at Bootleg Fantasy, me at Steve 2.0. We got another fun fantasy football video for you for 2020 fantasy football, and I'm really excited to be here today. I just want to say go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Climb the Pocket. We got a good account over there with tons of people following us and a lot of good discussion going on. We're posting a lot of polls and whatnot, plenty of to get involved in over there. As always, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you do like our content and like this video. It helps us out a lot, so we'd really appreciate that. And then last plug, go to climbthepocket.com if you want any other fantasy football articles. We got a great staff putting out articles daily. You're not going to want to miss any of that. And our website rankings are dropping this week, so you're going to want to go check it out. We're going to be updating that all summer long. But without further ado, let's get in the video. Like I said, I'm here with Ryan. What's going on, man?
Well, Steve, if you followed the golf outing that I had with
The match.
with 360 FFB, I covered, but did not play too hot. Golf not going to be my thing. I mean, I enjoy golfing, but I'm not going to be taking anyone's money. But hopefully, a little top 25 consensus ranking will cheer me up from just a brutal outing.
Yeah, top 25. We got the top 25 fantasy football players overall. So a mix of, running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks, and tight ends. So let's go ahead and get into it. Coming in at the top five, number 1 through 5. Number 1, we have Christian McCaffrey. Number 2, Ezekiel Elliott. Number 3, Saquon Barkley. Number 4, Alvin Kamara. And number 5, Michael Thomas. So our top 5 does include Michael Thomas, a wide receiver, but it starts off with 4 straight running backs. I don't think you're going to see anything crazy here with our top 5. Maybe Alvin Kamara. I think it's probably the most changeable person in the top 5 here. I've seen people have him outside the top 6 or 7. And Michael Thomas is usually hanging around there at number 5. Ryan, do you see anything surprising here with our top 5?
No. I mean, when you have a top 5 pick, you kind of like to go for consistency, and that's what these guys are. I mean, you know what you're going to get out of all 5 guys. McCaffrey, I mean, he's unbelievable. I know it's tough to repeat as the number 1 guy in fantasy year to year, but I mean, I don't know if you can really say he's not going to, just because what we've seen from him. I mean, he was unbelievable last year. Zeke's in a pretty good offense. I mean, if he has 20 touchdowns, I mean, he might be better than McCaffrey for fantasy, but like the way we have it is how it's going to be. I feel like seemingly consensus. Listen, we're not one of those websites that goes for shock value, Steve. We're trying to give you the right information, and I mean, these 5 guys I feel like are the right guys in the top 5.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are back to back with all these picks, except for you have Ezekiel Elliott at number 2. I have Saquon. I don't think anyone's going to argue. I think those 3 are kind of in a league of their own. McCaffrey and Barkley a little bit more, but Elliott's one of the safest picks in fantasy football year in, year out, which puts him up in that tier. So I'm not surprised that you have him at number 2. I think he's pretty interchangeable with Barkley. It's kind of a preference on how safe you want it. Barkley's battled injuries over the years. But let's move into the next 5. Derrick Henry comes in at number 6. Dalvin Cook at number 7, Joe Mixon at number 8, Julio Jones at number 9, and Devontae Adams at number 10. And I would say if we are kind of going comparing what the consensus has, I'd say Julio Jones at number 9 is a little high for what he's being drafted at. You have him pretty high up. You have him at number 8. I have him at number 11. So he squeezes into our top 10. Other than that, I think all these picks are pretty safe. Derrick Henry at number 6. You've got him at number 6. I have him at number 7. I'm kind of wanting to take Derrick Henry a little more and more each day. I watch his highlights from last year, and he was just a beast, man. He's going to get so many goal line carries, and I think he can absolutely repeat his touchdown production that he had last year and be the rushing leader in the NFL. So not so hot in a PPR league. He's not really involved in the passing offense, and he still won't be now that they took another running back who is a pretty good pass catcher. So he's not going to have that role, but I do like Derrick Henry to be the focal point of that offense. So being at number 6, I'm getting a little more comfortable with that every single day. Like I said, Julio Jones, you got him at number 8. He's squeezed into our top 10. I know you defended him last time on the wide receiver video.
Listen, Julio Jones is a 1,500-yard wide receiver until proven otherwise. He should have had that last year. He missed a game. He would have been right there. Listen, it's fun to put guys above Julio Jones, right? He's not flashy. Everyone says, "Oh, his touchdowns aren't ever there." Guess what happens if he scores 10 touchdowns? He might be wide receiver one. You know what I mean? Like Julio Jones is. I feel like he's still somehow underrated. Even though he's a top, I don't know, 10 talent at worst all time. Like he's just that good. Uh, he's my second wide receiver off the board. It's tough for me to justify wide receivers in the first round just because running backs are so consistent. But Julio is just as consistent as most of these running backs. So I love him at 8. I've got no issue taking him in the first round if I'm at the back half. So the running backs that are kind of iffy that, like, we don't know what's happening with Dalvin Cook. I've got him at 7. I think he's going to sign. I've got no thought that he's not signing. Like, he wants David Johnson money. He's not asking for top running back in the league money. I feel like they should be able to do that. I understand the injury history, but he's a top, I don't know, 6 talent running back wise. So he's more versed in PPR than Derrick Henry. So if you're in a PPR league, I could understand you taking him over Henry. It's just the cloud over his head that we're not sure what the situation is right now.
Yeah, and if you're taking a wide receiver here at the end of the first round, let's say you're in a 10-team league or even a 12-team league, I think starting off with Devontae Adams at number 10 would be a pretty incredible value, especially looking into our next 5 picks on who you could get around the turn. So coming in at number 11 is Tyreek Hill, 12, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Hopkins at 13, Josh Jacobs at 14, and Nick Chubb at 15. So if you go ahead and take Devontae Adams at number 10 and get around and get like a Nick Chubb or a Josh Jacobs, I think that'd be a pretty incredible start. Now, Miles Sanders is our number 12 overall. You have him at number 11. I have him down at 18. So clearly he's up here because of your ranking on Miles Sanders. So Philly boy, go ahead and describe, or I guess defend why you have Miles Sanders so high.
Uh, I've been putting it out there this entire time, Steve. He's not going to be in a committee. He has the most yards from scrimmage in a single season per game of any running back under Doug Peterson. He was a rookie. They've got Boston Scott as number 2. Corey Clement's back, but he is a huge question mark. He was hurt all last year. Like, Elijah Holyfield going to take snaps from Miles Sanders? I don't think so. Like, Miles Sanders is the only guy there, and until I feel like they're going to go elsewhere, he's going to be a top 12 pick for me. He's going to be somebody you can rely on week in and week out because the volume's going to be there. He's the only guy that I feel like the Eagles are going to really feature in that offense. Everybody else in that offense has a counterpart in the offense that'll take snaps from him. So Miles Sanders is going to be a mainstay in an offense that's going to have to put up points. So he's my 11. He's 12 for us. He may sneak into the top 10 by the end of all of this. I mean, I could very well put him above Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, those kind of guys. So Miles Sanders is quickly going up everyone's draft board. And I'm not going to say I told you so when he's a top 5 running back, but who knows?
Someone who's falling down draft boards is DeAndre Hopkins. If you're looking at him, he's 13 now. In the past few years, he's always been a top 10 pick, definitely a first-round pick. And now he's moved on to the Cardinals, which some people might think would be a better offense, with Kyler Murray on the uprising and, a possible good running game with Kenny Drake and whatnot. Just that kind of offense with Cliff Kingsbury. It's like appealing, but wide receivers on a new team, players on new teams, there's always a question mark. And I think that's definitely riding with DeAndre Hopkins here. In this situation. So if you're able to get him in the second round, I think that'd still be a pretty incredible value. You have DeAndre Hopkins at 12. I have him down at 17, and that makes me sick, honestly, just saying that. I don't know.
I don't blame you at all because he's coming from Deshaun Watson to Kyler Murray. Like, is Kyler Murray as talented a passer as Deshaun Watson? I don't think so. There's more competition that's always healthy in Arizona. This is a new offense he's going to learn. In an offseason, that's not normal. I mean, he's one of the most talented wide receivers in the game, but, do we know that the volume is going to be the same? I don't think so. There's too many talented players in that offense. We're going to talk about one of the guys in the offense shortly. there's a lot of pressure on them this year, and pressure gets to teams and teams that are kind of new together. I don't feel great about Hopkins. I love having somebody that I feel super safe about in the first round. So I'm kind of staying away from him in the first. If he's there in the back half of the second, I'll take him. But it's a tough sell right now.
Yeah, it is a tough sell, but hey, what can you do? Let's go ahead and move on to our next five players. Coming in at number 16, we have Austin Eckler. Coming in at number 17, we have Aaron Jones. 18, we have Kenny Galladay. 19, Kenyon Drake. And 20, Chris Godwin. Now, you have Kenyon Drake down at 22, and what's a video if I can't talk about Kenyon Drake? I have him all the way at number 12. It's kind of scary. I have him in front of guys like Eckler, Jacobs, Hopkins, Miles Sanders. I mean, all these names, Chris Godwin, Nick Chubb. I mean, probably kind of making you sick.
I mean, yeah, Steve, a little bit because I mean, we just touched on Hopkins. That offense should be good, right? And they should be 1,000 times more efficient than they were last year.
Yeah.
Was Kenyon Drake a lightning in a bottle guy, or was that really who Kenyon Drake is? I don't know.
There's just this one highlight video I watched, and he just looks so good. But then, yeah, when you look at the advanced metrics, he really wasn't that great.
Listen, I want him to be good. I mean, he's been on many teams where I've wanted him to be a breakout stud with the Dolphins. Maybe I'm scorned. It's very possible. But, like, I don't know, man. I just feel weird about taking Drake just because he's a second round pick for you. He sneaks kind of into your top 12, which makes him a first
round pick, technically at number 12.
So
I'd probably make him the swing pick just so I don't take him in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. Like he should be good, but like he's not a safe pick. Like I've been burned by I don't know, David Wilson's and
name drop.
Was it Joseph Randall?
Dude, Joseph Randall was a beast.
From the Cowboys. I think I went back-to-back years of taking the breakout running back in like the second or third round. Like David Wilson had the neck injury and Joseph Randall.
There's C.J. Spiller. You can't forget about him.
C.J. Spiller was nice. I always liked C.J. Spiller. But I think Kenyon Drake measures better than C.J. Spiller did. So, I mean...
I feel like Drake... if you could get him as like if you go like running back, and you can find some good receivers like in the middle rounds, which you always definitely can. A lot of people will go heavy RB approach. If you can get Drake in the second round, ideally at number 19, that would be a fantastic value, I think. And the risk is kind of minimized because I don't think he's going to be a bust this year, but he might not be a number 12 overall pick like I have him. I'm high on him, but
I think with Drake, you've got to take into account like there might be a couple games where he just puts up stinkers. Like he's like either 15 for like 140 and 2 touchdowns or like 12 for 37, and you're like, this makes no sense. So Kenyon Drake, if you're feeling risky, if you didn't like your first round pick, you can go risky with Drake. I could see it, but I'm a big safe play guy in the first 4 or 5 rounds.
I think a surprising pick on our consensus is Chris Godwin at number 20. Earlier in the offseason, I remember seeing him as like a late first round pick in a lot of mock drafts, and clearly he slipped in ours. He's number 18 for you. I've got him at 19, so he comes in at number 20 on our consensus. I kind of just feel like this whole, I hate to bring it in, but the whole pandemic thing and whatnot in football, it's like he's got a new quarterback. We're assuming that Chris Godwin's going to be Tom Brady's Julian Edelman, and we don't know that. I don't feel comfortable taking him as a first round pick. In the second round, I guess he did have a really good season last year, but I am kind of a heavy running back guy. I'd rather secure a guy like Kenyon Drake, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler in this spot. And I don't know if he's going to end up going at number 20. His ADP is probably somewhere around the early second round. And for me, I'm not really comfortable with that. I'd much rather have a guy like Kenny Galladay, who I'm just much higher on. I think that he's going to have more touchdowns. I think the big playability, just is there. I mean, Chris Godwin's a pretty big size guy too. I think he's kind of underrated size. But I like Kenny Galladay a lot this year. He's my number 15 overall. He's your number 19. And he's our number 5 overall wide receiver, I think. But this is a pretty fantastic group right here, though.
Yeah, no, I don't hate the idea of having an early pick in the first round and then falling into one of these guys. Like Chris Godwin, he's kind of risky, but also the talent's there. You know,
Hmm.
Brady's not going to make him terrible. I guess the issue is volume. How many are they up in games? Are they down in games? Like I feel like they're going to be up in more games than they were last year. So that's kind of concerning. I mean, Mike Evans is always going to be a stud. I'm always going to be in my heart. Mike Evans is a better wide receiver, but like Chris Godwin's probably going to have the volume in that offense. It's tough for me to say that like he's not going to be good. But I don't know, man. Him and Drake are the two guys in this group that like make me a little iffy just because I love being safe.
Yeah, definitely. Is it? Quick question: is there any chance the Buccaneers' offense isn't as good as people are projecting them to be?
Yeah, I think if Tom Brady is actually washed, if Tom Brady was actually somehow a product of New England, even though Bill's a
Ooh,
defensive mind,
they'll be missing
they could have
Jameis.
issues. Which will be hilarious if it's
Man, did
week
you that statement
three.
by Jameis? He's like, I'm
Yeah,
historically one of the best quarterbacks ever. I mean, honestly though, with like how many quarterbacks make it to the NFL, like his talent probably is up there as one of the better quarterbacks of all time. And not, I'm not saying all time, I'm saying in a group, a large group of good quarterbacks. But there's also a really big group of really bad quarterbacks. So like his statement was pretty bold to say, but I don't think it was completely out there. I think I know what he was going for.
yeah. I mean, he wasn't wrong, but he also wasn't right. You know what
No,
I mean? Like
30
if it's week
interceptions.
three and like Tampa Bay's calling for Jameis Winston again because Brady's 1-2 with like 215 yards a game
Oh
passing and like a
man,
weird touchdown interception ratio, it's gonna be a weird, just I don't know, just a situation where I wasn't expecting. Where one of the, I mean, probably in my opinion, the greatest quarterback of all time is getting his head called for 30 for
yeah.
30 Jameis. So it's
All right,
gonna
let's
get
go ahead and
interesting.
move on to the next five. Coming at number 21, we have Travis Kelsey. 22, Leonard Fournette. 23, another tight end, George Kittle. 24, Mike Evans. And number 25, our first quarterback, Lamar Jackson. So obviously a fun group here with Travis Kelsey, George Kittle, Lamar Jackson squeezed in here. We throw in a little Leonard Fournette and Mike Evans. Really like this group. Travis Kelsey at number 20, 21 kind of seems like a steal. He's going to be a wide receiver one on most teams. And when I say wide receiver one, he's going to be your top receiver most likely.
Hmm.
I would definitely not mind. I mean, if in a 10 team league, this is a third round pick. So if I can go any sort of running back, wide receiver, running back, whatever combination, and then get Travis Kelsey, man, I would feel amazing. And then Lamar
Fuck
Jackson at
yeah.
25 seems a little. Is it early? Like, is he gonna do what he did last year? The rushing yards are gonna be there. I think he's gonna continue to be a big part of that rushing offense. But it's so early for a quarterback. I like if I can get Patrick Mahomes 10 picks later, I'd like much rather do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. The thing is, for me, I feel like Lamar was just a game. Like he was just a league winner. He was a week
Oh,
winner. He was a game winner. Like he just won things for you if you had him on your fantasy team. The problem was, I feel like it was because of the value you got when you drafted him last year.
mm-hmm.
I think having running back stats and quarterback stats is huge. He's pretty much weekly an automatic upgrade over whoever you're playing against. And that's what I kind of like to look for. Like, I mean, that's why we've got Kelsey and Kittle and Lamar in the same area. Like, they all provide huge value. Lamar, I'm interested to see if they defenses figure out game plans. I don't know if you really can. So I like the value if you get him in the third round, just because it feels good to have Lamar Jackson on your fantasy team. Uh, but I don't know if the touchdown efficiency is going to be there, like making him that much better than Mahomes
Yeah.
or Russell Wilson. Like it, he should be like in the third round. He deserves it after that unbelievable year last year. The quarterback is forever depreciated in fantasy football now, but Lamar Jackson deserves to be in the third round.
He's gonna jump up in a second round in a lot of like
Hmm.
non-expert or home leagues or whatever. He's gonna jump up there because people were gonna be chasing last year. But you touched on it earlier. He was a league winner a lot because of his value. You got him post round 10 last year, and
Hmm.
that's how you win fantasy football leagues. Because this year you're gonna take him in the second or third round, and you're not gonna have that other running back or that other wide receiver that helped you get to the championship. So like your team was so good last year, Lamar Jackson. obviously because Lamar Jackson, but you also had that extra RB2 or wide receiver 2 on your team that was alongside him, and you pretty much spent nothing on Lamar. So, like, that's the name of fantasy football. You got to find value in the late rounds that can have potential to be top 10 picks, or in Lamar's case, the number one fantasy football quarterback scoring the most points in fantasy football. So that's how you get a league winner right there. But that is our top 25 overall consensus rankings. We'll go ahead and update this here soon, but next week we're going to have a mock draft coming for you. And like I said, go ahead and check out our Twitter at Climb the Pocket. Check us out on Twitter. Our handles are on the page. Go over to our website. We got the rankings coming soon. We're going full force into football season. It looks like that it's all going to happen on time, and we're all going to be, before you know it, drafting our fantasy football teams. Definitely very excited. Had a really good time today. So if you like our content, like this video right now and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate all the support. Until next time, catch you later.